chairman of the African Union, the chairman of ECOWAS. Africa is at a crossroads. This new one world government, we must be very careful. Decisions are not being made in our capitals. They are being made in foreign capitals. The Liberian people must be left to determine their destiny. Not concerns about will President Taylor step down? I will step down. And you see, over the past several days, they've logged thousands of rockets in Monrovia, killed more than 1,000 people. If I were not here, there would be bodies all over the city. I thank God that He could have laid on my heart that the presence of peacekeepers in this country will be extremely necessary to redeem us and to save you, our people. And as they come, we will receive them. And I will turn over my office. The economy is ruined. They have imposed arms embargo. I cannot defend you adequately. They have imposed economic sanctions. The economy is ruined. I am convinced that as long as I'm here, you will continue to die. And therefore, I have decided that because it is not just about me and power, that you, the people, matter. Because if I were to leave this country before the peacekeeping troops arrive in this city, I see disaster. I see trouble. I see murder, mayhem. I see rape. I see total destruction. So it is important. It is important for the international community to act, and to act now, to bring peacekeepers to Liberia and bring them now. Could we continue fighting? Yes. But above all else, the people must matter. I say to my colleagues, the chairman of the African Union, the chairman of ECOWAS, Africa is at a crossroads. This new one world government, we must be very careful. Decisions are not being made in our capitals. They are being made in foreign capitals. The Liberian people must be left to determine their destiny.
Honorable delegates, heads of state, leaders of nations, distinguished representatives of peoples great and small, I greet you not as a career diplomat, nor as a man bred for banquet halls and handshakes. I do not come to you speaking the rehearsed language of polished politics. I come to you as a soldier of my people, as a guardian of a wounded land, as a son of a continent that has carried the cross of the world, yet has never worn its crown. My name is Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of Burkina Faso, and today I speak not only for the 22 million souls in my nation, but for a continent whose stories have been twisted, whose pain has been ignored, and whose dignity has been repeatedly auctioned off at the altar of foreign interests. Africa is not Tobago. Africa is not a battlefield. Africa is not your experiment, your puppet, your warehouse of raw materials. Africa is rising not to kneel, but to stand. And today I say before this great assembly of nations, Africa will not kneel. One on the false generosity of global politics. For decades you've sent us aid with one hand while extracting our lifeblood with the other. You build wells in our villages while your corporations drain our rivers. You donate vaccines, yet patent the cures. You speak of climate action, yet continue to fund the very forces that burn our forests and dry our lakes. What kind of generosity is this? The kind that feeds the mouth but silences the voice. The kind that keeps a man alive just enough to keep him dependent. We are not blind to this hypocrisy. Let me be clear, we are not ungrateful for sincere humanitarian assistance, but we reject a global order that disguises exploitation as partnership. We reject financial institutions that lend with one hand and steal sovereignty with the other. Africa no longer wants charity. We want justice. We want control over our own destinies. Too on the chains of colonialism and its modern descendants. Our wounds did not begin with us. They were inherited legacies of an empire-building madness. that saw us not as humans, but chiefs, as cargo labor tools. My ancestors were not consulted when maps were drawn with rulers and compasses in Berlin. The borders of Burkina Faso, like those of many African nations, were not carved by our ancestors, but by men who had never stepped foot on our soil, who knew nothing about languages, our tribes, or our spirits. Today, colonialism has a new face. It wears suits, it hosts forums, it signs contracts in Geneva and Paris and Washington. But it still takes without consent. It still dictates instead of dialogues. It still silences instead of listening. If you want to talk about peace, then let's begin by unlearning the arrogance that peace is something only you can teach us. 3, on resource exploitation and the myth of development. They call us developing as if the theft of centuries did not set us back, as if the gold from our lands, the diamonds from our rivers, the oil beneath our feet did not build the very skyscrapers in which this assembly sits. Let us speak plainly. Burkina Faso is rich, Africa is rich in minerals and culture and wisdom and youth. But you have taught us to measure richness in GDP and export value. You call it development when a foreign company owns 90% of a gold mine on our land. You call it progress when your security forces guard cobalt mines, but not our children's schools. That is not progress, that is piracy with legal documents. From now on, we will define development on our own terms. Development that puts children in classrooms, not minerals on cargo ships. Development that respects the land, the people, and the soul of a nation. 4, on sovereignty and interference. Why is it that when an African nation makes independent choices, we are called unstable? Why is it that when we seek military cooperation outside the colonial sphere, we are labeled a threat? Burkina Faso has chosen to walk a path of sovereignty that is not a threat to peace. It is a declaration of adulthood. We are no longer under your guardianship. We are no longer your junior partners in diplomacy. We are a free people. If a nation chooses partners that respect it rather than exploit it, that is not rebellion. That is wisdom. Let it be known, no foreign power will dictate the alliances of Burkina Faso. We will build relations based on mutual respect, not historical guilt or present-day intimidation. 5, on terrorism and manufacture wars. You ask why there is violence in the Sahel. You ask why our youth take up arms. But you do not ask who benefits when our mines are guarded by private mercenaries, while our villages are left vulnerable. You do not ask how weapons arrive in deserts that produce no steel. You do not ask why peacekeeping never seems to end the war. The truth is, many of the so-called solutions to African security problems are merely business models. Endless conflict has become a market, and African suffering has become a subscription-based service. Burkina Faso has decided to break that cycle. We will fight terror, but not with dependency. We will secure our nation not with foreign dictates, but with national dignity. 6, on migration and human dignity. We do not want our youth drowning in the Mediterranean. We do not want our brightest minds fleeing the countries that once called us savages. We do not want remittances. We want reasons for our people to stay. Why do our youth flee? Not because we lack beauty, but because we are made to lack opportunity. Not because we hate our land, but because our land is treated as someone else's property. Migration is not a crisis, it is a symptom of wars we did not start, of loans we did not need, of a world order that tells our youth their only value lies outside their own homes. The solution is not border fences. The solution is justice for 7, on Africa's place in the world. Africa is not a mistake to be fixed. Africa is not a failed continent. Africa is the womb of the world, the cradle of civilization, the keeper of tomorrow's hope. We have been made invisible in global decisions that affect us deeply. At the UN Security Council, Africa with 54 sovereign nations has no permanent seat. What justice is this? You call it balance? We call it betrayal. You speak of democracy, yet uphold a global structure where the powerful few veto the dreams of the many. We will no longer whisper in rooms where we deserve to speak with full voice. 8, on faith and spiritual dignity. We are a spiritual people. Before your cathedrals, our ancestors sang to the sky. Before your missionaries, we knew the language of the rivers and the laws of the sacred forest. Christianity came, Islam came, and we received them not as slaves, but as seekers. But now we ask, will the church and the mosque stand with us, truly with us, when all people are displaced by greed, masked as globalization? Will your pulpits echo our cries or only repeat the songs of the powerful? Faith, too, must be decolonized. It must walk with the poor, not the privileged. 9, on unity among African nations. This is not a speech from one country. This is the stirring of a continent. You see Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso forming a new bond. You fear our unity. Why? because it threatens the myth that Africa can only rise under your supervision. We are uniting not to wage war, but to wage dignity, to pool our courage, to share strength, to protect each other when the world turns its back. Pan-Africanism is not a dream. It is our lifeline, and we will build it stone by stone, heart by heart, with or without your approval. To the youth of Africa, to the young boy selling oranges by the roadside, to the girl who walks 10 kilometers to attend school, to the child whose only toy is a stone but who dreams of stars. You are the reason we fight. Do not believe the lie that your continent is cursed. You are the blessing. Do not envy foreign passports. Be proud of your name, your land, your roots. The world may not applaud you now, but the future will speak your name in honor. 11 final words we will not kneel. I do not come to declare war, I come to declare will. So we will not kneel to fear. We will not kneel to foreign banks. We will not kneel to outdated empires masquerading as friends. Africa is not asking for a seat at your table. We are building our own a table where no child eats last, where no nation is silenced because it lacks nuclear arms, where justice is not filtered through the lens of race or history, but shared as breath is shared. This is our vision and this is our vow. Let the world hear it today and always.
Thomas Jefferson once said, I've know of no safe depository but the people themselves. If we are the safe depository, my people, my fellow Liberians, let us do all we can to uphold and defend the integrity of our motherland, because the motherland will never fall. It's yet another time, another opportunity afforded us by the all supreme. We have 24 hours, given the bad, the good, the ugly. But the question is, what have you to do with your 24 hours? Today is the 5th day of June. The year remains the same. We are grateful to be counted amongst the living and seated at a spot that we can communicate with you in mass simultaneously. This is your info breakfast companion, The Positive Show. On the show, we think positive, we live positive, we talk positive. Believe in yourself, and it shall work out for you with the help of God. As usual, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm here. My name is Rufus Divine Conan. I pray to see that this morning to share breakfast with you, talking about those things that matters. This is the shape of what we outlined for you in today's edition of the program, The Positive Show. As usual, we bring you the flight surges from the Rabat International Airport. It has to do with arrivals and departures. The prices on the Liberian market, basic commodity, health tip, the vehicular traffic movement in and around Monrovia and its environment. The flip side, we talk about those things that matter to the growth and development of our beloved country. And at 10 o'clock, we say goodbye. This is how we're going to be looking at it this morning. We also allow you to weigh in on those things that you are confronted with in your community. The last time we had a time to talk with our brothers there in Niger, that are stranded or migrants that are stranded in Niger, they continue to place a call seeking answers and solutions to the problems they are faced with. So we say to our government, our ambassador at the IMO, we are appealing to you to give that listening ears and fully participate in getting our brothers from the situation they are faced with at the IMO camp in Niger. We bring sense to the discourse. We safeguard the airwaves from invectives. This is what we do here. Everybody is indeed somebody. Commercials next on this after a bass of our theme song. Welcome.
If you want extra small money for the things that you're not expecting, let me tell you about Momo Loan. Live fast and easy way to be free with money problem. Momo Loan, the new way of taking care of things when you not get money. The first thing you got to do is to register dial *156*5# and you will select extra cash. Hey man, that one, that easy credit there. Momo Loan, they're not just giving you money, they are making you strong financially. Momo Loan, that your fallback position, that you're dependable. Go get it. Don't wait, go register today and control your money power with Momo Loan. Momo Loan, extra money for the things that are important to you. Hey dear, I guess you need a little extra cash for those unexpected expenses. Introducing Momo Loan, your quick and easy solution to financial freedom. Momo Loan is your cash flow, extra cash when you need it, offering users quick financial support for things that truly matters. It's simple. First, you gotta register. Just dial *156*5# and select extra cash. And remember, with Momo Loan, we are not just giving you cash, we are empowering you with knowledge for a better financial future. Momo Loan is your cash flow, extra cash when you need it. Let's go. So don't wait. Get started today and take control of your finances with Momo Loan. Momo Loan, extra cash for the things that matter.
Oh yes, we can advertise your goods and services right here on the Positive Show. So just get in contact with us. We are located right on 10th Street in Sinker in the Technology Building. The ground floor is where we are. So come and let's do business together and you appreciate what we do for you. All right. So let's go to our basic commodity. Of course, we have the sale of gasoline and that of fuel. Gasoline is sold for $790 on the pump, while fuel is sold for $850. So we move on to our health tip. This morning, we want to encourage you, all of us, to make water our friend. When I say making water our friend, it is important for us to drink enough of water. Your drinking habit should be increased because nowadays we have a lot of toxic things that we put into our system and it gives our system a tough time, to digest them. And for those of you who are in a constant habit of taking in beverages and more to that, you're taking in these high content caffeine drinks like the energy drinks. I want to say to you, you need to avoid taking in energy drinks. These drinks have high level of caffeine and is not good for your health. We also notice that a lot of young people have gotten the habit of mixing alcohol with these high caffeine content um, energy drinks in the mind that, oh yes, it makes it's a mixture, you enjoy it. You are leading yourself to your grave gradually, because what it does is that it has a serious effect on your inner organs. It damages your liver, it damages your kidney. For those of you who don't love drinking water, common water, you screen the kidney and the liver. Yes. So, and you are there taking in these hard substances. They are dangerous to your health. That's why you see a lot of young people, when you do the statistics, go to the hospital, a lot of young people coming down with kidney stone, a lot of people coming down with kidney problem, liver problem, because of these substances that you are taking. It's not healthy for you. So you need to eat healthy, live healthy. Hmm? So please, let us clean around our surrounding. Like we always encourage you, monkeypox is real. Let us avoid crowded areas. Let us avoid the too much shaking of hands, because all these things are listed on the protocol that has to do with the fight against monkeypox. So, with that being said, we quickly take you to our flight schedules. There at the Roberts International Airport. We'll take you through our flight schedules. There at the Roberts International Airport. So basically, today we have four flights, and arrivals at the Roberts International Airport. We have the Ethiopia Airlines. Ethiopia Airlines flight ET932 arrived at the Roberts. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 9:45 this morning from Conakry, Guinea. Airpeace flight P47536. Airpeace flight P47536 from Accra, Ghana. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 5:35 this morning. That's this evening, rather. 5:35 this evening. Kenya Airways flight KQ508. Kenya Airways flight KQ508 from Accra, Ghana. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 5:40 this evening. And lastly, for arrivals at the Roberts International Airport, we have Aska Airlines. Aska Airlines flight KP20. Aska Airlines flight KP20 from Accra, Ghana. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 5:50 this evening. That does it for the flight schedules of arrivals at the Roberts International Airport. We now move to departures from the Roberts International Airport. Air Cote d'Ivoire, flight HF755, will depart the Roberts International Airport in 2 to 3 minutes from now. Yeah, so it's at 8 this morning. 8 o'clock this morning, Air Cote d'Ivoire will depart the Roberts International Airport for Conakry, Guinea. Ethiopia Airlines, ET932, will depart the Roberts International Airport at 10:45 this morning for Addis Ababa. Ethiopia Airlines, flight ET932, will depart the Roberts International Airport at 10:45 this morning for Addis Ababa. Airpeace flight P47537 will depart the Roberts International Airport at 6:15 this evening for Accra, Ghana. Lastly, for departures from the Rabat International Airport, Kenya Airways, flight KQ509 will depart the Rabat International Airport at 6:40 this evening for Accra, Ghana. So that does it for the flight schedules. We quickly rumble to get for you the weather update. So let's quickly get for you. We say kudos to flight 24 for the update. Let's get for you our weather report. As of 9, we have 78 degrees Celsius is cloudy. Precipitation is 10%. Humidity is 84%. The wind is being blown 4 meter per hour. 4 meter per hour is the speed of the wind. It's blowing the south. So that does it. And it feels like 83 degrees Celsius. Yeah. So that's it for us. We now move on to the next segment that has to do with our vehicular traffic update. Our vehicular traffic update is next on this transmission. As often as we say to you, many thanks to the Liberia National Police senior and junior officers, especially thanks to the RG in person of Colonel Gregory Coleman for your able leadership since you took over of the first responder in the security sector. That's the Liberia National Police. We've seen a lot of transformation. We've seen a lot of improvement in areas that wearing, up to date. We paid a visit the last time. We saw how the place is well structured. The police headquarters is very organized. Though there are challenges, amidst those challenges, there are prospects and gains. So we must commend you for those gains, and we look forward to the prospects. And thanks to your able leadership, your able lieutenants, we're talking about commissioners, we're talking about those able directors who are aiding, ably helping in the process to restore the lost image of the Liberia National Police. So kudos to you, and we will also want to encourage you, not just the headquarters of the Liberia National Police, but also the zones. The zones also need your attention. Why we thought to go this route this morning, because we've actually paid visit to a lot of police stations around. We've noticed there are a lot of things lacking. Some of these police stations, some of these depots, they are lacking stationaries. Some of these depots are lacking electricity. Some of these depots are lacking, basic office materials. So we won't allow the police, back in the days when you go to the police station, carry your case, you are told to buy sheet, you are told to buy this one, or you are told to transport you and officers. Gone are those days. And we want to emphatically state to you, the Liberian people, if you go to any police station or any depot and you are told to buy a sheet, make sure the person who asks you, or the zone who have asked you to buy a sheet, get that badge number of that person. If you can get in contact with me, and we'll forward that information to the higher ups of the Liberia National Police, because the executive team, is actually trying to restore that lost image, the pride and dignity of the Liberia National Police. So, under our watchful eyes, as journalists, these things won't be happening, and then we sit there tight-lipped. And more to that, um, it is our own responsibility to country to see that those who are in the charge of dispensing justice do it in the confines of the law of the Republic of Liberia, so that people cannot take the law into their own hands. You know that bad habit where you were told to go and buy a sheet, you were told to transport you and the officer to go and carry on the arrest. It made a lot of people to take the law in their own hands by carrying on, vetting their anger in the process and doing what they can do, carrying on mob justice and all the kind of stuff. So today, the Liberia National Police, amazed the challenges, have transitioned from that point. So that's why we are calling on each and every one of us as Liberians. Let us be a washout there for the security sector, especially the first responder. If you see any of them in an act that is not welcoming, that showcase a negative picture of our country, the flag and the seal that they wear, report it. Okay? Report it. We know there are bad apples amongst the good ones. So let us try to root out those bad apples. We also made mention the last time calling on you and your team, Mr. RG, to make sure that our officers look good. We last time saw the distribution of raincoats as we have actually entered the major rainy season. It is good, though there are still more needs to be done. A lot of officers have not received theirs. So gradually, let us do all we can. Let us go out there and get the needed materials for our officers so that the rain cannot be a hindrance to their work. And moreover, we are calling on you through your office and the office of the Justice Minister to see reason in advocating the increment of the salaries of our men and women in blue. These people are the first responder of the security sector. If they are not well paid, you get to understand what's going to happen. So the last time we saw you, Mr. RG, you penalized officers that were caught extorting money from drivers, and that will publish. The money they collected was placed in government revenue, and we look forward to seeing more of these. In as much as you're carrying on this, you should also say when you are washing, someone is washing your back, you should also be washing your front. So as you are trying to put things in order to restore the dignity, it's just not the outlook of the officer, but meeting the needs of the officer. The last time we also witnessed the collaboration or agreement you signed with the Cottington University for officers. That was very, very remarkable. So we look forward to other the extension of that agreement to other universities. It is very important, and not because you are wearing the blue, so you shouldn't improve or get higher education. So that itself have brought a serious challenge to officers. We're now seeing a lot of officers enrolling at the very higher institutions in the country to acquire degree. Not because you're wearing the blue, so you cannot have that higher level of education. No. So we are encouraging officers to take advantage and improve your lives. Today or tomorrow, you may decide to leave the uniform. What next? Outside of the space of the uniform. So that's why the able lieutenants and the able IG have begun these rigorous efforts to get you encouraged to further your education, because not all the days of your life you will wear uniform. You will decide to lay down the uniform and you can get in the private sector and do what you have acquired as an education for yourself and your family. So let's go to the vehicle traffic movement in and around Monrovia. As usual, we want to call on the Liberia National Police to carry on a serious attention as it relates to the plying of container trucks. Container trucks during the day, we see container trucks plying the streets. Container trucks are plying the streets during the day hours, for which it poses a serious threat, a serious threat to the lives of those that are commuting from one point to the other, where the container trucks are plying. Just the other day of last week, we saw a container truck was engaged in an accident, left the road, rolled down by the double bridge area there in Painesville, which of course, by the grace of God, we understand there were no casualty. But we cannot continue to put our lives at risk. We cannot continue to put the lives of our citizens at risk. We need to do the needful, apply those laws or those policies that are required. When the incident took place on Johnson Street, there was a policy put into place that container trucks shouldn't ply the streets during the early hours of the day. That went for almost a month. And I've come to realize that we have released the tightness that we had on that policy. So, and most of these trucks that are carrying these containers, they are not roadworthy. They are not roadworthy. So at the end of the day, when they are faced with strenuous situation, the only alternative that they have is to bump into people, destroy lives and properties. And most of these people who ride these container trucks, the defective container trucks, are apprenticed. Some of them, they are learning. Like what happened, even not only the container trucks, but these big dump trucks and all that kind of stuff. Like what happened on the Rivals we had with the last time, where we lost lives. So please, that's why the vehicles that were given, the motorbikes, we can put these, moving objects into full swing, activate the movement of our police. Like other Western countries, other African countries, you have the police parading the principal streets or in the community, and just riding to see as to whether there are crimes, or there's something that is, not healthy for the surveillance or for the public. So let us continue and let us get engaged with this. So the vehicle traffic movement from the Bushra Island area, the road construction, a little bit slowness in it because of the rainy season, but vast majority of that area have been covered. So we say kudos to the Public Work Ministry and the partners for the work done so far. The government of Liberia in totality, we say Kudos, continue to do what you do for the Liberian people. So when you are coming from the St. Paul Bridge area, get around the Douala Inn and wanting to have access to Painesville, no need of you using the entire, the main route, go to Freeport before you turn to the Japanese Freeway. No. When you get at the Douala Inn there, just drive to, get to Cowell, drive through Cowell, you have access to Diggsville. Diggsville gonna give you access to get by Battersville. Battersville gonna give you access to Johnsonville. Johnsonville gonna give you access to Pipeline. Pipeline is in Painesville, so you are directly in Painesville. If you want to go as far as the Kakata, the Carisburg area, just remain in that same area, that corridor, and drive through the Mount Barkley. Mount Barkley going to give you access to other paths headed towards the Kakata, the Fendel, and so forth. And for those of you that are coming from that way too and want to access the Pushaw Island, you can also use that route. It's very simple. The roads are all good. The roads are all good. So let us fast forward. You are headed towards town and you have these difficulties, engaging some of the tricycles, or you have trucks coming from the Freeport of Monrovia, trucks going into the Freeport of Monrovia will definitely stall the movement of the traffic. So all you need to do, get around the Billiman area, drive through, or if you are coming from that side, when you get around the Cowell Bridge, drive through Lokintown. Lokintown going to give you access to the Billiman area. Billiman going to give you access to Jamaica Road. The Jamaica Road community going to give you access to the Stoughton Creek Bridge. When you drive up there, get to the bridge, turn right like you are going up towards Semenko. Before reaching the Semenko corridor, look on your left. You drive the opposite side, crossing over to Doe Community. Doe Community going to give you access to Claratown. Claratown going to give you access to Bartown. You are in the corridor. You can head towards town with our screens. Know that you have a little thickness right at the intersection, the Claratown intersection there, because cars that are coming from town and you coming from inside Claratown, you have to wait so that the movement, be observed. With that being said, you won't have the screens between the Freeport corridor as far as the Vata areas. No, you'll be very free to move. But if you want to use that route, build yourself to face the stop in the traffic movement. All right, so let's move forward. To our friends on the Japanese Freeway, you can also use by way of the Doe Community and have access to Vartown. But if you want to use the Freeport area, know that as soon as you reach the intersection there, sometimes you have these loan traders, you have these vehicles coming from in the Freeport of Monrovia. So build yourself for that. Now let's go forward. For those of you coming from the Mount Barkley area and want to have access to the Roberts International Airport Highway, all you need to do when you get around the Pacopin area, drive through, you will see a road leading to the Zeze Community Corridor. Zeze Community going to give you access to the Dupont Road belt. When you reach around the Benson Hospital, if you want to get back on the main road, all you need to do, just drive through opposite the Benson. There's a route there. Drive through and get to Police Academy. You see that? And you do not want to use the Dupont Road and Junction Way. You drive to the Police Academy. It's going to give you access to 72nd Boulevard. 72nd Boulevard, head on you, drive to the junction. That's very simple for you. Let's fast forward. Looking at the engagement of the traffic, you don't want to use the main red light to head towards ERW Junction before you get on the Rivals International Airport Highway. Drive through that corridor that I just spoke of. When you get the deeper part of Dupont Road, where you have the market, turn on your right, and you have access to the rehab. You have access to the GSA. You have access to the main, uh, Rivals International Airport Highway by using the back of former president. First, you pass by the president resident, behind the president resident, and drive up to pass behind the former president resident. And there you have access to the main route of the Rivals International Airport. If those of you just coming in, we are giving updates as it relates to the vehicular traffic movement in and around Monrovia. So when you are coming from the Rivals International Airport, know that the road is still under construction. So please let us cease the speed. Let us watch our speed limits. You still have construction of the road ongoing. So watch your speed. Make sure you are driving not just for yourself, you are driving for the opposite and those pedestrians that are crossing as well. If you get in the school zone, make sure to follow the meter per hour, 10 to 15 kilometer per hour at most. In the corridor there, 30 to 15 kilometers would be very important for you to actually apply that route. So when you get around the Red to Play field before reaching the SKD Sports Complex, look on your far left. There is a road that leads to a community, and that community is called Peletown, and that road is called the Macakpakla Francis Road. It leads you to the Congo Town Back Road behind the Health Ministry. You can use that route to get to the main Boulevard Junction, or you use that route to go to the 540 area. That's very simple and very easy. If you do not want to use that route, you want to use the SD Cooper route, just opposite the SKD Sports Complex, drive through. That corridor is called the SD Cooper Road. Drive through to get to the junction. And when you get to the junction, build up that your experience is stored in the traffic because you have the police checkpoint right around the SP gas station intersection there. So cars are coming from the main junction, ERW Junction, will also have time to pass, so you have to wait. So we want to call on the PCC, the officers that are assigned there, including the Liberia National Police officers. We noticed that drivers are now adhering to those signs that are placed in that corridor. They will drive afar, even getting as close as the roundabout to put passengers down. We've also observed that marketeers are converging in the corridor, especially during the evening hours. Let us keep these policies in place. We go to other countries, we are there praising those countries. The people are law abiding. Let us maintain these policies that are put in place for the beautification and the civility of our state. Please, my people, where you are designated to put passengers, please do it. If that passenger want to, my friend, this is where we are asked to stop. The last time I was in a vehicle, this guy drove as far as around the Bonte drugstore to put passengers. I said, no, my man, you cannot park here. You cannot do this. So it was a war of words between the both of us. And at the end of the day, I had to call the PCC guys, and they settled their own dispute. Because these kinds of things, we must be able to abide by these laws and policies that are put in place to safeguard our space as citizens. So if all you are using the main Top and Boulevard Road, know that Boulevard Junction traffic gonna give you access to the 540 area. 540 gonna push you as far as the Catholic Junction. Before the Catholic Junction, you have the Oro, the first Oro entry. The second, you have to access around the fish market area. All those areas are traffic prone, traffic congestion prone. It takes you as far as the Vamoma end. Now, understand when you get around Vamoma, most often when you pass Vamoma, reach around the 24th Street area or 20th Street, you are given a detour to use the avenue. So to avoid all of those things, make sure most especially the morning hours, drive through Vamoma, use the Barrows Practice Ground, the Barrows Practice Ground or the FP Shocker area, wherever you call it. You would take yourself through the avenue, the Cinco Avenue. Head on, you can use that route to get as far as the Jonathan Road, and Jonathan Road going to give you access to the main Capital Bypass without you having streams along the corridor 9th Street where you get a detour or going as far as the Foreign Affairs area to be bothered by the traffic. No. So just by you using that corridor will give you free access. And we want to say to our motorcyclists, we want to say to our tricyclists, please adhere to the traffic rules. Avoid putting people in the front. You are the only one to be at the front and the rest of the passengers in the back. Stop putting people because there is a risk involved. You putting people at the front. So in case of any eventuality, you are able and have that free space to cut and turn, please. So we will conclude the vehicular traffic update at this point. Let us get this commercial commitment. Upon our return, we're going to be talking some key national issues. And we will open the line subsequently for you to weigh in, and then we'll move on the flip side 9 o'clock to talk about other issues that matters to the growth and development of our beloved country, Mama Liberia. Commercial commitment is next on The Positive Show.
Yeah, I guess you need a little extra cash for those unexpected expenses. Introducing Momo Loan, your quick and easy solution to financial freedom. Momo Loan is your cash flow, extra cash when you need it, offering users quick financial support for things that truly matters. It's simple. First, you gotta register. Just dial *156*5# and select extra cash. And remember, with Momo Loan, we are not just giving you cash, we are empowering you with knowledge for a brighter financial future. Momo Loan is your cash flow, extra cash when you need it. Let's go. So don't wait. Get started today and take control of your finances with Momo Loan. Momo Loan, extra cash for the things that matter. If you want extra small money for the things that you're not expecting, let me tell you about Momo Loan. Live fast and easy way to be free with money problem. Momo Loan, the new way of taking care of things when you not get money. The first thing you gotta do is to register. Dial *156*5# and you will select extra cash. Hey man, that one, that easy credit there. Momo Loan, they're not just giving you money, they are making you strong financially. Momo Loan, that your fallback position, that you're dependable. Go get it. Don't wait, go register today and control your money power with Momo Loan. Momo Loan, extra money for the things that are important to you.
Your car renter is bigger and better with affordable rides for you. Anywhere in Monrovia is $5 United States or its equivalent. for a ride. You can order a ride anywhere within Cinco and Central Monrovia and pay just $5 or its equivalent in Liberian dollar. Airport drop-off is $30 or its equivalent in Liberian dollar. And Painesville is just $15 Book your ride by calling 0888 111 222. Once again, book your ride by calling 0888 111 222. You car renters, your affordable ride just for you.
Living inside sing ground. The lion in the town. My shepherd dog and to go.
It's a dawn of a new day in broadcasting, and I have got news for you, radio and television stations owners and managers. Expert Communications Consultant is here to solve your equipment installation and purchasing needs. At Expert Communication Consultant, we are the premier source for professional radio and television installation. Contact us today for the following services. We build, install, and do servicing on towers from start to finish. We do a full installation of radio and television equipment. We soundproof and brand radio and television studios of all kinds. We do repairs on radio and television equipment. We do order radio and television equipment as well as spare parts from Italy. The biggest news is we have state-of-the-art solar broadcasting system that uses solar power. So look no further for your communication perfection. Expert Communication Consultant, your premier source for professional radio and television installation. We are located on 10th Street in Cinco, Monrovia, right in the technology building. We can be contacted on 231-886-462632 or 231-770-462632 or email us at owusup33@yahoo.com. Expert Communication Consultant, your premier source for professional radio and television installation. Oh yes, after a commercial commitment, like we said, you can advertise your goods and services with us and you won't regret. You will appreciate what we do for you in terms of our partnership. We have our pendulum turned to the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the LDA. Over the period of time, we championed the cause. We advocated based on the experience and the level of work we've seen the head of the institution have done in past. Yes, it's as well we were one of those individuals who were in the limelight, showcasing the level of work you did during the administration of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So we still believe in your leadership, and we know that you are able to do the needful for our society. But I want to bring to your attention, we know budgetary allotment is one of the challenges that your institution and other security operatives are faced with. But the little mega resources that you have to your disposal can be used to transform that sector. We've noticed, I firstly want to begin with the outlook of those officers. We've noticed with disdain the appearances of the officers or agents that go into the field to carry on raids and all that kind of stuff. Some of these officers, they look good, well attired, but majority of them, they look no different from those guys who are taking in these substances. So I want to use this medium to call on your office to carry on a serious reform, a serious overhaul of the system. We know that the system in past incorporated a lot of drug users, and these individuals were being used in the system as point guards. So let's take, for instance, if you are going to carry on a raid in a particular community, they serve as informer to those ghettos and drug peddlers. We say kudos to you and your team, especially the guys who are assigned at the borders and the rural areas. They are doing extremely well. We've seen a lot of arrests of narcotics and all kind of substances. We say kudos to the team. But my emphasis here is on the appearances of these agents or the officers that go in the field. You cannot look like we continue to emphasize on the police as well. And the police, we see a drastic improvement in, the outlook. So we also want to see that with the DEA. Let these officers be properly attired. Decency pays. When you look decent, it adds value to you and add value to what you do. But you look like one boy and you say you're going to arrest, come on. And we want to say, we know that it is good that the guys go out there to carry on these arrests and all kind of stuff. But let them also understand that these disadvantaged youths or these guys who are abusing the drugs, they are also human. Humanity pays. I've seen officers or agents who have gone out in the field to carry on an arrest. The manner and the form they treat these drug users or drug abusers is not in the confines of humanity. We know that there are some force that need to be applied, but the little force that being applied by some of your officers or your agents will send a negative human records for your institution. When the individuals or the individual who you are in pursuit of turn him or herself over, there's no need of you using excessive force. There's no need of you using excessive force on that person. It's against human rights. We know that we have a clamp down on the use of drugs and all kind of thing, but let us understand to be in the confines of humanity. The man turned himself over. Why approach him in a brutal manner? No. Inasmuch the person you are in pursuit of the person and the person turned himself or herself over, there's no need of you using excessive force. What you want to prove? So we thought this morning to bring that to your attention, Mr. Sua. We know that there are challenging moments. Budgetary allotment is not actually adequate for the level of transformation that you want to see at the level of the DEA. But in so doing, the little resources that is at your disposal, you can do your utmost best. Make sure to carry on a serious check on your guys. Some of these agents go in the field, they are intoxicated. And some of these same people who go in the field to arrest, when they go to carry on arrest, they get themselves involved into dubious acts. And they decide. So like the police are now having cameras. Your officers also need that so that you carry on monitoring and evaluation on them. Because some of the things that they do when they go out in the field is more like the rebel style. It's more like that. So please put your eyes and all of your attention on the guys who go in the field, because the image of the LDA matters. The image of the LDA matters. The way they look, the way they operate, it sends a signal of who the boss or the leadership is. With that being said, let us say congratulations to Liberia. It's no surprise that we've come a long way. We say congratulations to all of our leaders. We say thanks so kindly for the patience. Thanks so kindly for the understanding. Though there are lots of challenges, but with those challenges, you've made progress and you have gains. We're talking about past, immediate past, and present. It is important to note that the sources that we now have are the United Nations Security Council. Every government, from the regime of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to that of former President Weah, and now the presidency of Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai, you have contributed immensely to see Liberia reach thus far. And we hope and pray that we can maintain the peace and civility that we have so that we retain that seat. But again, I must say to us Liberians, sometimes I tend to wonder who we are. Some of the things that we do is beyond imagination. Let us now put ourselves at a position where we see country and not individuals. We see country and not party. We see country as the whole. The Facebook or the social media few days ago was actually flooded with lots of interesting developments centered around this whole non-permanent seat at the Security Council of the United Nations. So when I read some of the posts from some past leaders and even present leaders, I just laughed. Liberia is all we have, my people, and we must be grateful. And let me say to our friends who are from the opposition, Liberia only have a president, a sitting president. That's why all of us who went to the poll to elect the leaders that we now have. You had your side, the next man had his side, but after casting of your ballots, the Republic of Liberia, through the National Elections Commission, recognized and certificated two individuals to steer the ship of affairs of our country. That has to do with a president and the vice president. I'm not talking about the legislative elections. These two individuals worldwide have been recognized as the present leadership or leaders of the Republic of Liberia. That's why we say His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. And we say Honorable Vice President Jeremiah Kwan-Kun. These two individuals are at the arrowhead of our leadership. With that being said, for God's sake, we know that you have love for former President Weah. We know that you have that unbending, unwavering, and all you need, all of the adjectives for former President Weah. When he was at the arrowhead of leadership of the country, though you had what you are doing now, others were even doing the same. But with all due respect in the level of education some of you have obtained, that we have high regard for you academically, and we have high regard for you when it comes to your dealings, let us portray a style and a behavior like people who have gone to the higher level of education. That's why I continue as an individual in soliciting the connection of others to join in the call for the reinstatement of the teaching of civics and the Constitution in our schools. If you read civics, it tells you about the government. It tells you about your roles and responsibility as citizens, and just outline the basis for responsible citizens and responsible leadership. But we've come to realize, since those self-seeking politicians omitted the teaching of civics from our schools, the walls have broken, and the reasoning of our people is sometimes questionable. Yeah, it's sometimes questionable. I say this to say, go on the social media, see this. The success of Liberia obtaining a seat at the United Nations Security Council. You have a group of people who believe to themselves that they cannot recognize the efforts of this present leadership, but attributed the success to obtaining the seat at the Security Council to the past leadership. While we acknowledge the past immediate leadership and past Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf efforts, we must also recognize the efforts applied by the leadership of now. So a lot of posts from people, which of course we don't want to even read out here. And it was like, come on, the bitterness is still amongst us. So I want to use this medium to call on President Boakai. The last time unification message I listened, And we also had a lot of word of words from the interaction between former President Weah and that of President Boakai in that unification message and all the kind of stuff exchanges. Liberians, let us face the reality, regardless of your love for the individuals, regardless of your, these are leaders. You have the past and present. Our focus here should be placed on what they can do. What efforts can we apply in getting them to do the right thing for our nation? Our nation is at a crossroad where at this point in time and age, some of the archaic things that some of you get yourself doing, and even the kids get it so questionable. It's about when I thought they meant a high educated man or woman, but why would they be treated this way? There are a lot of things that we can focus on than getting ourselves involved into all sort of bickering, all sort of things that are not called for, that doesn't even call for our time and energy. So President Boakai, I want to call on your honorable office to find a time where we can spend more emphasis or lay more emphasis on unity and reconciliation. This country, from the look of things, the bitterness is still, the bitterness from the past elections is still in the veins and blood streams of Liberians. So as a twin mother, as a leader, as a twin father, it is your responsibility to unite your citizens. And one of the ways I have come to realize that when this time comes in our nation, regardless of our bitterness, we converged on a one umbrella and we gave that massive support that is needed to see our counties reach the finals, see our counties claiming, clinching the victory and all the kind of stuff. Is the National County Sports Meet. Sports over the period of time have served as a unifier. I can recall during the civil unrest and after, we had former President Weah serving as peace ambassador. And all of his work was enshrined within sportsmanship, getting Liberians to let go of the past and forge ahead to see where we are today. It was not done by a single individual. It was the collective efforts of all Liberians that have brought the success of his engagement as peace ambassador to fruition. That's why I want to listen to people. If the people weren't going to agree to adhere to those messages, he wouldn't have become successful in carrying on his ambassadorial post. That's why one thing we failed to understand, and we will continue to live with that kind of mentality because we are not willing to allow ourselves to heal from our broken wounds. We are not allowing ourselves to heal from the depression that we've gotten from interactions and also further things. So President Boakai, it is on you to find the suitable time and means through which Liberians, I was so proud to have seen the gathering when the process of the elections for the non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council was being held, scores of government officials, politicians, well-wishers gathered. And after the pronouncement, I saw joy, I saw happiness. But in the midst of all, I saw division. In the midst of all, I saw division. There were people in that same room who weren't in favor of the success that we now have. There are politicians in this country who believe that they are the only ones. They are the cream de la cream. Without them, there should be nothing. Without them, people shouldn't succeed. It is wrong. When we continue to carry that mindset and we continue to do these things, at the end of the day, we showcase as, oh yeah, I love my country. You are not a lover of the country. You are a self-seeking person. You only care about yourself. For you to be single out as the man or the woman. So it is a challenge out to all of us to unite ourselves, regardless of our political affiliations, regardless of our ideology. Let us reach out to each other. Now, someone may say, as we stated, the urge is out on the president to unite us. But in so doing, we ourselves, they say, if Muhammad cannot go to the what? To the mountain can come to Muhammad. Based on our advocacy, based on our roles we've played in society, we saw the war. We experienced a brutal civil unrest in our country, and we were able to unite, quote unquote, Liberians through the sports and other activities. Let me say to you, former President Weah, that is referred to in your DNA, a man of peace. You can extend olive branch. You can get engaged with the process of uniting Liberians. That is part of you. That's one thing people cannot take away from you, because you were in a sector and you grew that admiration. People grew that admiration for you through that sector. Now coming to the political limelight, you still carry that charisma. You still carry that zest. You still carry all of the attributes and the techniques that you use to win the people over to you. It's about time that you get your people to understand that you mean well for your country, and the divisive politics, the divisive tactics should come to a halt so that we unite this country. This country is the only country that we have, that we as Liberians cannot be deported from. You may go to the north, south, east, and west. You will always have the time to come back home. You will always have the time to call a place a home. You had our people who just celebrated during the past regime, the bicentennial, where Liberians, American Liberians from all around the world came to celebrate our bicentennial. That was a message sent out to the world that Liberians are now willing to put their eyes and pieces together to embrace development, to embrace unity, Unity in diversity. Let us leave this too much personal attacks. Let us leave this too much throwing shades and all the kind of stuff. Let us see how best we can transform the society. That's what I said the last time. Being in the opposition doesn't mean that everything that happens, it should be, seen in the negative. And I lay emphasis and give illustrations. And I'm about to do that again. Let us look around us. Yesterday's curriculum and today's curriculum. Today's reality is quite different from what things were in the past. So, you as a politician, you must get involved because the world is evolving. So, you must get involved. Change your course of action, change your ideology towards your politicking. If you think that you have to your disposal the solution to the problems, the many problems Liberians are faced with, you don't have to come to government before you make the necessary change. Some of us, we grew up, our eyes open on the private sector being the area where people made their marks. When you heard somebody taking on government position, what came to your mind back then? That person want to give back to the society. That person want to give back to his country. That's why he has taken a government post. But you, the same politicians, have made it, and it is seen differently. You continue to strangulate the private sector and make the public sector a place that if you don't go there, make people to feel if you don't go there, that means you cannot make life for yourself and your family. You have strangulated the private sector. People who were in the private sector back then, they made their bucks. The opportunities were available. They never thought of government jobs. So the dispensation we now find ourselves, you must be involving, you must be engaged with the ideology, the new mindset. People don't think, okay, say, I see that the people suffering from rest are the problem, and I get a solution for rest. I will not bring rest. That a man suffer, so the people must turn against him. Know that in the midst of the circumstances, the people are adjusting themselves to the way of life, such a time, such a condition. So at the final analysis, when the people have adjusted themselves to that way of life, your solution you think you got in mind when you come to power, you apply will be arcade. Because the people have adjusted themselves. There came a time in this country when former President Taylor was here. Prior to that, the gun sound was more fearing to people. When people heard gun sound, they were afraid. But it came a time, it sounded like music in our ears because we adjusted ourselves to it. And we know during the time where the bullets and all the kind of stuff were flying all around the place, there were no way to get the things that we yearn for. So what we did, we adjusted ourselves to the time and condition. So that's how it is. So if you think that you'll be at the point where you seen this, you have the solution, but you are not willing to make that impact. You are not willing to make that input. You think, okay, let me tell you, Liberian politicians, if you think that by strangulating or making the other people to look, that's the only way you can get to power. Come on. You be missing the mark. Because at the end of it, the people will get adjusted. There are some major things that these people will be doing that people who you think that are being strangulated in another sector by the leadership that is at hand. Trust me, the people will get themselves adjusted and will get to admire the people who are at the helm of power for what they are doing. Infrastructure development. It's not necessarily about food. Now, let us understand, Liberians, development comes with pain. Development is not just no, it has a lot you have to endure. Before you stabilize issues, you must go through the screens. Now, take for instance, if you take a muddy water, a water from the well that is, that has a lot of dye and all kind of stuff in it, and you place that water, a cup of water or a tub of water, and place it in an open container. Before you get that water to become clean for usage, it will take time. You will endure the time. You will go through the process before you get what you want. So let us understand leadership and let us understand life as it is. It will not be rosy. You do not get success so easily. It comes with strings. It comes with a lot. So there will come a time today, for some of you who have not gone out of Liberia before, do you know the history of Ghana that we're now praising today? Have you listened? I will get you a clip. And I will play that clip from the late Gerald John Rowland when he took over his leadership and to get Ghana getting on par with other countries. It took him a serious time. It took him the challenging moments. I see people around here politicizing the demolition exercises that are ongoing. Want to put a spin on it. I kind of laugh, right? So you want our country to look as it is always, year in, year out, no development? Development can with pain. The places that you get in pain, you go, you enjoying yourself. Oh yes, I'm living in a 5-star hotel in Ghana. I go to this other place in Benin. I go to how these things came into being. It did not come on a silver platter. There were pains. There were a lot that took place to get those countries to where they are today. And in getting Liberia to get on par with other nations, we must endure the pain. We must endure some of the challenges so that we can say, free our lives, thank God Almighty. We can now point out, no, we were in the same trenches here criticizing the demolition exercise that went on during the regime of former President Ellen when she demolished the defense ministry in Congo town there. Oh, she do not want to see the legacy of the man. Now she's breaking the thing down. We politicize that other thing. Today, some of us who criticize that decision taken by former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, we now converge at the ministerial complex for festivity. We go to transact business, go to transact, carry on some activities there. You think if such a decision were going to be taken, today we got ministries at that place? That building would have lied in rooms for years, year in, year out. But you must take a decision that after that decision is taken, the aftermath of that decision, the people will appreciate the results. Now today, instead of government spending huge amount of dollars on private property, enriching families, we got ministries and agencies at that place. That place that lied in rooms for several years. And when it was broken down, we criticized. We put a spin on it because of our personal aggrandizement. We blinding the minds of the people to the extent to make them turn against the leadership back then. Why should the former president break the defense ministry that was built by the late former president Samuel Kayando? People even went and put a spin to the extent to bring tribal conflicts. Ethnicity took place. Say, and you see it? How you doing, my Pennies? How you doing? You see it? We tell you, the woman let the crown people. You see it? All the things that do for him to, she describing it. All because of the personal aggrandizement. And the Liberian people are so gullible, they believe those myths. They believe all of those things and they ran with it. Today, some of them, they are proud. That's why, you see, we will continue to bring back these memories so that some of you who championed the cause, there were a lot of demonstrations that took place. People went to mansion to demonstrate why should the building be destroyed and this and that. Today, we are proud to sit at the ministerial complex. Some of you occupy offices at that place. You forgot to know that you were in the vanguard, championing the battle cry. Say this play, why they should break the play down. They play and then this one and that one. Today, you have seats. You are occupying offices at that place. So if that decision weren't going to be taken, today you would have had office at that place now. You see it? So you, the ordinary Liberians, not everything that these politicians will bring to your attention, you try to put yourself into it. You must have a sense of reasoning. That's what the Bible tells us, that in all of our getting, we should get wisdom. It doesn't call for you to go to college. It doesn't call for you to go to obtain the big degrees. No. Common sense. What is the aftermath? If this place is broken and just left undone, what's going to happen? Then you know that it was done on a sinister basis. But the place is broken and there are development taking place. Why should we get involved with demonstration? Why should we get involved with some? Come on, think about it. Some of you that are organizing, I'm going to say to you today, some of you that are organizing mass gathering for demonstration, say to yourself, you are not sincere to your own selves, because some of you have the opportunity to transform lives. How many lives did you touch when you had the opportunity? Some of you were in government. Some of the resources that you got from government, you still have them. Are you making impact in the lives of the ordinary people that you are galvanizing today to form a mass demonstration? Are you touching their lives positively? Or you want them to go out in the streets to cause chaos so that because of your political aggrandizement, their lives be put on the line. And then when the power is handed over to you, then you turn your back on them. You no longer take their cause. You no longer reach out to them like you are reaching out to them, going into the trenches to galvanize men, to galvanize women. The people are vulnerable. That's what I said, President Walker, you have a lot to do. The information dissemination must be very robust, because those failed individuals see themselves based on the ignorance of the people. They use that to play on the minds to get against leadership, past and present. So that, like I always say to people, when the minds are developed, the eyes will appreciate the works of the hands. Because our minds are not developed, so we crave to things that are not even called for. You as a young man, ask yourself today, does it worth me going in the street to throw stones? Does it worth me taking up my time, the time I should be taking to think positive and do things positively for myself? I go and stand up, I chant a battle cry. And at the final analysis, I leave from that place, maybe sustaining wounds. These people that took you there, will they be at your bedside? Will they be there to cater to the wounds that you have sustained? You were out there looking for bread for your family. Will they provide the bread that you used to provide for your family before you got hit? So ask yourself these questions. Does it worth me getting involved? I want to acknowledge all of us as young people. The urge is us to think wisely. That's why you see the hate, the jealousy, and all those kind of negative vibes continue to permeate its way in our society because we do not utilize our time. We have opportunities. Some of us will misuse those opportunities. Some of us, when we had the power, we had the opportunity, we say, oh, we'll be there for the longest. We did not maximize our energy. We did not maximize the time. We feared that the time weren't going to pass. So we were doing things, unorthodox things, thinking that we will continue to remain in the space. Here we are today. And for some of you who were in the bad stage, you needed those assistance from the people that are not calling you to go and demonstrate, that are not calling you to do unorthodox things. They did not pay listening ears to your call. Some of your family members, they died in the process when you needed them the most to provide that aid so that you can take your ailing mother or child or husband to the hospital. They told you they were unable. They told you they never had the resources. Why they had the resources? They never gave you that ears. They never gave you that attention. That now today they're reaching out to you, and then you there. Oh yeah, and this. Come on, think twice. Wisdom. You need wisdom. And some of you today, likewise, you are at the hem of power. You reach out to the people when you needed them the most for their votes. Now that you have the votes given you and power is turned over to you, you have forgotten so soon. We have not gone 2 years yet. You have forgotten so soon. You are all in the trenches informing the people on the day-to-day activities of your political party. Now that you have the power that you were requesting from them, because all power is inherent in the people. The people gave you the power. You have turned your back so soon on them. They need you at the point in time. If you do not have the means at the moment, let them know. Let them be aware of what is happening. Do not withhold the information from them. Let the information filter down to the least person in the community so that they get to understand that, look, my vote that I cast for this leadership is not in vain. These are the outcomes. Even though the challenges are enormous, but there are prospects and gains. The gains are need to be recognized so that we appreciate that the sun and the rain that we stood under to cast our ballot did not go in vain. So we call on you, President Boakai, your able lieutenants, Some of them are doing extremely well, while others have placed themselves at the lackadaisical end. And this thing, they have gotten themselves also involved in this bullied style of engagement. Come on. The other people did it in time past. When you continue to do one thing over and over and over and expect different results, no. The other people did it. They were there playing fun while they were living luxurious style and lavish lives. They were playing fun. They were on social media. So should you, and those were things that you criticize, should you get involved with some of these things? The same old thing that you criticize? So it's on you, the ordinary people, to understand and read between the lines that politicians are just politicians until the mindset can be transformed. They will always stray in a direction that will suit themselves and not you. The men are calling you, passing around here, calling you to go and demonstrate. When was the last time he attended to your call when he was at a position that he should have attended to that call of yours? Huh? When? You see some of the things? Ask yourself these questions. When these people need the power that is inherent in you, according to our constitution, they come to you on bended knees. They go to the trenches. They sit in the cook shop. They lap up the door. They act like they are eating with you just because they want to convince you to turn over that power that you have, that right that you have. And when you have taken up the time to turn it over to them, they don't care about you. Your legislators, how many of them visiting the constituency? When it's time for agriculture break, they take up the time to go live large in other countries. That's what I said the last time. The time you're taking to buy, the resources you're taking to buy the BB cars, living these large and luxurious lives, come on. You can make an impact in the ordinary people's life. Now, let's face the reality. These are the things that we need to emphasize on and will continue to emphasize on. You buying $75,000 car for a government official, that one person there, while you have millions of your citizens who are dying from curable diseases. You buy one man $75,000 car, and that $75,000 can purchase 2 to 3 dialysis machine. He said no. Can process and buy drugs to cure the illnesses of the ordinary people. He said no. It better not buy the $85,000 car, $75,000 car. One man. And after 3 years, he said the car is not roadworthy again. So you discredit the car. You need another car. While you have my Mary, who stood under the sun and the rain to see that the power is handed over to you. When she go to JFK, there's no drug at JFK. She had to go across the road. She's being directed to go across the road to buy drugs. When Jim Ball, who was at the front of the battle crowd, chanting all of the slogans, fell sick and needed to be at the hospital to carry on his treatment, there was no bed. He had to lose his life. What sense does it make to you to afford a single individual that kind of luxury vehicle while thousands of your citizens are dying from curable diseases? You go to a hospital that have a very large space that can contain thousands of individuals at once. Visit the JFK. Go and see. There are a lot of spaces there, especially the TNI-MS side. Going to the TNI-MS side, the dormitory, our doctors and nurses, our physicians. See where they go to acquire knowledge. But yet still, we take the thousands of dollars at the end of the month, we fly to Ghana to go to Kolebu Hospital. So the sense here is, let me ask you the question. The Kolebu Hospital that you're going to, you know that teaching college there? The same way you get a TNI MA here, where students from TNI MA go to JFK to practice. That's how Kolebu is. So if those legislators of Ghana were taking the fat salaries and not investing in the health sector, would you have gone there for treatment? And leaving your country that got the meager resources, that you can revamp the system and you will benefit, even when you are out of government, that you will benefit from, you turn your back on it. This is not just an ordinary thing, it's a curse. Because, I don't know, today, you have the power to your disposal. You have the means to transform the system, but you turn your back on it and rather building the economy of other countries with thousands and millions of dollars. When you fly to go for health check, you think you should be flying from here just to go check your blood pressure or to go check what doing your heart or doing your liver? You can do that just right here at the JFK. You can do that at the Telewayan Hospital. You can do that at the Phoebe Hospital. When the necessary equipment and the young men and women, they are capable to do those things. But you say, no, I'd rather go to Ghana. The treatment that is given you in Ghana as an ordinary person, when you are in your country and those same services are being rendered here, the way in which they will treat you in Ghana and the way in which they will treat you in your own country, they will give you that first preference in your country. Then the way when you go Ghana, they take you as an ordinary person. They only add value to you when they know that you get the money, so they want the money from you. So they add value to you. But if we have all of these equipment and we got well-trained doctors and nurses on call at the Vera Health Centers, when you go there to do these kinds of checkup, that first preference will be given you. Even when you leave office, when you no longer hold political power or positions, you can run in your ordinary state and go and get quality treatment. It's not affront. See what happened to our former president. Where did he die? At JFK, right? The late Moses Black. So for several years, attention weren't paid at that institution. You had the means to transform the institution, for which you did not. The availability of the resources that took you from here to go and do check, even when the hair hurt, you go do check outside. You no longer have that to your disposal. The place that you turn your back on is where you go to lie. And you expect to get quality when you did not create the environment. So some of you, I tend to wonder what's happening to our politicians. You live on your other countries. You as a legislator in your country, the place you're going for treatment, the place you're going to acquire whatever checkup that you want, they got legislators there. They put money in the budget for the transformation of that service that you're going to receive. Why can't you do the same here and feel more relaxed and more confident and more respectful when you go to those areas that you can be proud of. Say, yes, my advocacy, the resources, we make sure that we got the resources to get the necessary equipment at these hospitals. Let me benefit from my labor. But you sit there, you fly airplane. That's why a lot of you, I got this thing to play. I got this thing to play. Let me get my commercial commitment when I come back. That's the comedian in Ghana. He had this to say. He said, our leaders, when they are enjoying power, they travel, they go to the Western world. They enjoy themselves. But when they die, or they're about to die, they say, I want to be buried in my country. Is Africa a cemetery? And I say this in the reverse. You have the opportunity to transform the JFK, the Telaway Hospital, the Redemption Hospital. You are not doing it. You fly to Japan, you fly to India, you fly to Korea, you fly to Ghana, all the countries. When you die, they bring you back as a cargo. Is Liberia a cemetery? With that being said, we'll go for a commercial commitment to be right back. Are you looking for a getaway that combines the beauty of nature with luxurious accommodations? Look no further than Woki Farms in Carisburg along the Kakata Highway, where dreams come true from rolling hills to sparkling streams. Woki Farms, it's traveler's dream. We offer a unique experience for all with a 20% discount on all of our services. We are open every day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And let's not forget about the food at Woki Farms. We pride ourselves on our farm-to-table dining experience. Enjoy delicious meals made from fresh, locally and internationally sourced ingredients. There's no time to waste. Explore our farm where you can get up close and personal with friendly animals. A place with breathtaking views. You will leave your worries behind. From cozy cabins to elegant shallow rooms. Woki Farms, where memories are sweet. Whether you are seeking a peaceful retreat or an adventure-filled vacation, we have live band days and every Sunday. So why wait? Plan your vacation or outing with Woki Farms in Carisburg along the Kakata Highway and experience the beauty of nature. Indulge in luxury and create memories for lifetime. For reservation, call us on 0881 248401. From sunrise to sunset, every moment is grand at Woki Farms because we are the ultimate wonderland.
Before the sunrise.
Car Renter is bigger and better with affordable rides for you. Anywhere in Monrovia is $5 or its equivalent for a ride. You can order a ride anywhere within Cinco and Central Monrovia and pay just $5 or its equivalent in Liberian dollar. Airport drop-off is $30 or its equivalent in Liberian dollar. And Painesville is just $15. Book your ride by calling 0888 111 222. Once again, book your ride by calling 0888 111 222. You Car Renters, your affordable ride. Just call. Oh yes, after that commercial commitment, the lines are open 0887 105 105 0778 665 073. And the numbers to call this morning in front part of the Positive Show right here on Love FM 105.1 is a lone presentation. And the lines are open. Let's talk about those things that matters. You have issues in your community that you want to highlight, you can call. If you want to chime in on the discussion that we are having at the moment, you can also call and let's do it together. Let's talk the talk as we walk the walk. Let me play for you this audio so that while we await your calls, you can listen for yourself.
Our leaders, when you get money, you establish your businesses and your house in abroad. But when you die, they bring you back here in this country to be buried. Is our country a cemetery?
You see that? Is our country a cemetery? You got all of the fat businesses outside of the country. Yeah. Oh man. You get all of the boutique, you get all of one outside of the country. And you die. And he said, "I'm bring you back to Liberia." Liberia a cemetery. 0778-665-073-0887-105-105. Let's listen to the late Jerry John Rowland, what he had to say, so some of you can, we're playing these things so some of you can grab the concept, so that you shouldn't be used by politicians who are self-seeking. They only think about themselves, and not you. Think sick today and call on them to help you to get medication. They will even block your number. They will even not pay attention to you, but calling you to go in the street. Yeah. Let's get this one. Jerry John Rowland.
That's what you call it, judges. Make any allegations against me, you included. Whatever questions you want to ask, take me through a chemical interrogation. I will be the one who will pass. I wonder how many of you will pass. You know something, Chief? If we can learn to be bold enough to restore the value of truth in our society, then we will have justice. Without truth, we cannot get justice.
Oh yes, the truth must be told. That's why we took up the time to sit here every morning, and not just to get involved with the cheap politics around here. We get involved with the reality on ground. Everyone have the part to play. You who find yourself in opposition, you have your part to play. The leadership at hand has their own part to play. Each and every one of us, even the ordinary citizens, do have the part to play in bettering the country for all of us. But we sit there, we have divided the country on party line. Oh, that's my party. And that president, then I'm a president. The president, that my stand-up bearer, that my own president. Come on, it doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. Even the person that you're virgin for, the person recognizes that there is a leadership. Come on. Sometimes we I don't know how our minds, sometimes we need to sit and ask ourselves, where are we headed? If you sit down there and just build your mind with what kind of things that are not even called for, come on. So let's get your calls coming through 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. Our numbers to call this morning and form part of the Positive Show right here on Love FM 105.1. My name is Rufus Divine Cannon. Let me get this brief out. When I come back, I'm going to be telling you more. The last time we had in the studio, Madam Judy Andy, she is the Commissioner General of Expo 2025, Osaka, Japan. What are those things that you need to know? You can take advantage. She told us that you can take advantage if you are in the space of journalist, you are a business person, you every sector of our society, you guys, you can form part and get engaged with the process. It brings a lot. I'm going to be giving you detailed information why Liberians should take advantage of this and what's the importance at this time for us in terms of getting engaged with Expo 2025 Osaka, Japan. All right. So let's get this song for you. Yeah. Let's get this song for you, Grace. This song, Grace. And when we come back, we get um, things out here. Let's get the song Grace for you right here. Okay, Grace. While we await your calls, 0778 665 073 numbers to call this morning and form part of the program. We know the truth hurts those on the negative side and it helps those on the positive side. So we won't get tired of saying the truth. We need to enlighten the minds of our people. We hold no allegiance to any political party, neither a politician. We believe, we have our conviction that Liberia is all we have and we can do in our low space to transform the minds of the people, because when the minds are developed, the eyes gonna appreciate the works of the hands.
Something better, better from the Lord. Better, better. Juliet, my testimony. Friendship turns ugly, no trust. Surprises of rejection. It's turning from us when those who fight for are the same ones who stand and fight against you. Oh no. You are a lawyer in the courtroom. You wipe away my tears, oh Lord. Your grace is sufficient. You are a lawyer in the courtroom. You wipe away my tears. Your grace is sufficient. Only God can be praised. Oh, oh, God can be praised. No compassion against me shall prosper. My peace for when I speak his powers. There's a man to praise, the answer. Let's become like grass upon the arches under my feet. You are the Lord in the courtroom. You are the way, my tears, oh God. Your grace is sufficient. You are the Lord in the courtroom. You are the way, my tears, your grace is sufficient. Only God can be praised. Oh, God can be praised.
Oh yes, only grace, God grace I need to take me through this time. So we said we're gonna bring you some detail as it relates to you taking advantage of the Expo Osaka Japan 2025. Let's outline some of the importance of Liberians or walks of life should take this very important and serious. What it does is that Liberians should take advantage of the Expo 2025 Osaka, Japan for several compelling reasons, primarily centered around rebranding, economic growth, and cultural performances or promotion. The Expo offers a unique platform to showcase Liberia's potential to a global audience and forge valuable partnerships for economic development or diplomacy and investment opportunities. The Expo 2025 provides Liberia with an unpairing opportunities to rebrand itself on the international stage. Now that Liberia has a non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council, we need to take advantage and stretch forth our tentacles in our respective sectors. So we need to get involved with this because it offers the chance to reintroduce itself as a nation rich in history. Liberia, we need to get engaged because our engagement with Osaka 2025 Japan will showcase and give us the chance to reintroduce ourselves as a nation rich in history and culture, poised for growth through innovation and transformative actions. Liberia's pavilion will tell a story of resilience, highlighting its emergences from a challenging past and its commitment to a future defined by peace, prosperity, and progress. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs views the Expo as a strategic move to rebrand the country, aiming to showcase Liberian products for export, attract foreign direct investment, and open doors for the private sector. You see why we should get involved with this? Showcasing Liberia to the world. I can recall with the many challenges that we went through during the Ebola situation, the epidemic in our country where lives were lost. At the concluding point of the Ebola crisis, some of us were opportune to form part of a boot camp that was held in Ghana, where African countries converged from various Red Cross and Red Crescent societies, converged, and we were able to showcase how Liberia overcame the deadly disease called Ebola. That was an opportunity afforded us because we were fully involved with the fight against the deadly disease Ebola. So we got the opportunity to go and tell the story. How we put mechanism in place to restore calm and the resilience of the Liberian people to overcome the deadly disease called Ebola. So it is important as you take the advantage to form part of Osaka, the Expo Osaka 2025 Japan. It will also be a similar thing that what we did in Ghana to tell the story of how Liberia overcame the Ebola. All right. So in terms of the cultural promotion and tourism, Liberia do have a very, very, very rich soil. We have a lot of tourist sites. So our engagement at Expo 2025 Osaka, Japan will eventually get the attention of people, partners. For some of you who own hotels, for some of you who own many businesses, you have the arts and craft. Come on, take advantage, reach out, and get to know the procedures. Because the Expo serves as a crucial platform for economic diplomacy, aligning with the arrest agenda. That's why the government shouldn't take this lightly. And I must applaud President Boakai for commissioning the able and energetic former cultural ambassador, Madam Judy Andy, as Commissioner General for Osaka 2025 Expo, Japan. You may like it or not, because this is about time. When you hear people say, well, Lofa, this is our time. This is our time. This is our time. So let us do all we can. Put aside your political differences. When Liberia is developed, all of us, whether you from political party B, political party C, political party D, we will take pride in the development of our country. In your respective areas, you can showcase the dignity and the pride of Liberia. Yeah. So let us get to understand the arrest agenda which prioritize economic growth and sustainable development. Liberia's participation into attract foreign direct investment and establish new trade partnership. The Business and Investment Forum scheduled for August 27. Now, listen, the Liberia on the pavilion there, August 27. Liberia, August, the month of August for Liberia. August 27 will connect Liberian entrepreneurs and government officials with Japanese investors and global business leaders, focusing on opportunities in infrastructure, manufacturing, and exports. The Liberia boat will showcase made in Liberia products, emphasizing those with strong export potential from sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, and services. Liberia's participation in Expo 2025 is an opportunity to promote its rich cultural heritage and tourism potentials. The pavilion will showcase Liberia's cultural traditions and emerging business opportunities. The National Day celebration on August 28 will feature a grand event highlighting the nation's cultural heritage, including a parade, musical performances, and the Golden Image Awards ceremony. The expo will also highlight Liberia's natural resources and cultural heritage to diversify its economy. Here are specific dates. Here are specific events and initiatives. Now, catalog them, all right? Take them down. Several key events are planned to maximize Liberia's impact at Expo. The Women's Forum, scheduled for August 24 to the 25th, will focus on gender equity and cultural diplomacy. The Business and Investment Forum will provide a platform for Liberian businesses to interact with international investors. Liberia's National Day will be celebrated on August 28 with a grand event highlighting the nation's rich cultural heritage. The one-stop shop, which opens on March 8, that's March 18, 2025, aims to prepare Liberia for its participation in the global exposition. Now, how can we align with national goals? How does it align with national goals? Liberia should take advantage of Expo 2025 Osaka, Japan to rebrand its image, promote economic growth, showcase its cultural heritage, and align with its national development goals. Liberia's participation in Expo 2025 aligns with President Joseph Newman Boakai arrest agenda, which focuses on key development drivers such as agribusiness, roads and infrastructure, rule of law and governance, education and human capacity development, sanitation, and tourism. The expo provides a platform to showcase progress in these areas and attract investment to support these goals. So that's the importance for all of us Liberians in the various sectors to get involved with this process. So if you do not know the process or the procedures, all you need to do just go on the bypass where Madam Andy do have her office. Go and get detailed information. We just taught to enlighten you so that you know why it is important for you to engage in that process. All right. So the line still remains the same: 0887 105 105 0778 665 073 are the numbers to call this morning and form part of the Positive Show right here on Love FM 105.1. While we are with your calls, let's get this as a brief out.
Something better, better from the Lord. Better, better. Friendship turns ugly, no trust. The prices of rejection. It's turning from us when those who fight for are the same ones who stand and fight against. Oh no. You are my lawyer in the courtroom. You are the way my tears of blood. Your grace is sufficient. You are my lawyer in the courtroom. You are the way my tears. Your grace is sufficient. Only God can be praised. Oh. Mighty God, no compassion against me shall prosper. My peace for when I speak his power moves. There's a better praise to answer. Enemies become like grass upon the marches under my feet. You are my Lord in the courtroom. You are the way my tears of God. Your grace is sufficient. You are my Lord in the courtroom. You are the way my tears. Your grace is sufficient. Only God can be praised.
Oh yes, God's grace is sufficient for us. We appreciate God for what He has done and continue to do for us. Day by day, He takes us through the hollows of life, preserve us for another opportunity. So I'm so grateful that we were able to conclude today's edition of today's reality, the Positive Show. Many thanks to those who played a listening role, those who follow us via our online platform. We appreciate your following. Let's keep the peace and play safe, like I always say to you. And before I take leave, let me say happy birthday to you, my friend and sister. Hey, Miss Marie Gold. Marie Gold celebrates her birthday today. Marie, happy birthday to you. I lead another follow, friends among equals. Of course, I'm destined for greatness. Until we have the time like this, God willing is on next week, Thursday, a Battle Still on Tuesday. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays. But join the team on tomorrow. Palm Forma and John Kessler, they're going to be around here to take you through, to conclude this week's edition of the Positive Show. In union, shown success is show. We've got above our rights to prove we overall prevail. With hearts and hands, our country cause defending. We meet the foe with valor unpretending. Let me say, hats off to you, my own sister, Sis Ophelia, you there at the National Archive. Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, the difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing will surface to solve most of the world's problems on court. From my end, follow the rest of our broadcast. Bye-bye.